Day 2 is done at the 2011 Toronto Film Festival. I had to get up pretty early, working on 5.5 hours sleep. Had a string of media screenings to start the day. First up was The Artist at 9:15 at the Scotiabank Cinemas. That's where most of the press screenings are. Huge crowd there was at The Artist. The film's been touted as a sure Best Picture nominee at next year's Oscars by those who've seen it already. I'm not quite sure it deserves that status, but it's still a very good movie, one of the most original, creative of the year. It's a black and white silent film set in the 1920s about black and white silent films. So I love that overlap, and it provides for many great jokes, particularly as the characters in the film confront the advancing talkies in the late 1920s. My only problem with the film comes in the second half. I think it overplays the drama and they draw it out a bit too long, but look, the film's comedic elements more than compensate. It's an excellent film, really, so I gave it an A-. And then next it was off to the TIFF Bell Lightbox for a media screening of David Cronenberg's A Dangerous Method at 12:45. I learned a festival lesson here. I got to the preview 15 minutes early, thinking I was diligent. The queue was huge. The cinema can hold 548 people, but I think I was about 560th in the line and missed out. Even Roger Ebert himself was turned away, so I guess they don't, no preferential treatment.
One, if people start coming out, you can get in. There are no seats left for the screening.
It was a bit of a blow because I was really keen to see the film, so I'll just have to wait until it's released in Australia. The other screening, the public screening here, is sold out. And look, reports from those who saw it, I saw a few on Twitter, they were mixed. But look, with the unexpected break, I had a chance to look around the TIFF gift shop, and there was some fun stuff in there, actually. I loved the popcorn holder. I'm going to have to pick up a few things, probably a TIFF t-shirt before I head back to Brisbane in a few weeks. So after lunch, I jetted back to the Scotiabank, 3 p.m. screening of Sarah Palin, You Betcha. And this is part of the documentary program, and I wanted to see at least one during the festival, given my love for the genre. I think I picked the wrong one. There wasn't much fresh insight into the life of the 2008 vice presidential candidate. Many of the interviews were dull, and the continual narration and references to the director, that made me think that this director, Nick Broomfield, wanted to be the center of attention in this film and not really about Palin. So I gave that a C. But for the evening screenings, had 2 world premieres, and I wanted to see what it was like to get inside the red carpet. So I submitted my media request before midday and was lucky enough to earn a Guernsey at both. So the lineup in the media is the order of importance. So as you can imagine, I was stuck right down the end at both of them. But look, I still managed to get a few sound bites. The first film was Friends with Kids, and in attendance was the actor, writer, director Jennifer Westfeldt, and stars John Hamm from Mad Men, Adam Scott, Megan Fox. From Australia, so we're gonna see the film down under, hopefully.
You're less nice down there. Expect what the media people are. Are we gonna see the film down there? I don't know. That's up to this film festival. We'll see what happens.
Look, I'll try to share some of those sound bites for the listeners on 612 ABC and ABC Digital later in the week. The film hasn't even been picked up for distribution, but I do hope it does because it's a nice debut feature from Westfeldt. She wrote and starred in Kissing Jessica Stein, which came out about 10 years ago. It's a really good film. And this is a rom-com. It does an admirable job breathing life into this genre. Everybody knows this is my most hated genre, but the dialogue is intelligent, the cast is strong, and the bluntness of certain characters, particularly Adam Scott, will get plenty of laughs. So I gave Friends with Kids a B+. The final film was the world premiere of Fernando Meirelles' 360. And I'm a fan of Meirelles, especially City of God and The Constant Gardener. So I was able to secure a nice spot on the red carpet too. Most of the press were covering the Ides of March premiere with George Clooney and everyone else, I think, at Roy Thompson Hall. So I spoke for a few minutes with Meirelles, and he was great. He was such a relaxed, nice, down-to-earth guy. You know, you could have spoken with him for half an hour. So I can see how he attracts such strong casts. And why Toronto? Why did you choose that festival to bring it to first?
Well, because it's my 4th time here, and in Toronto now I think this is the most important festival in the Americas, and it's one of the biggest markets. We still need to sell the film for US, so this was the right place to do it. And this theater, and the audience here is so warm, so I feel protected here.
what I couldn't believe, he told me he only finished the film 3 days ago. So, cutting it pretty fine. I look forward to sharing that interview with you soon. Also gracing the red carpet was star Ben Foster, writer Peter Morgan, who's one of the best in the business. He wrote the screenplays for Frost Nixon and The Queen, both Oscar nominated. The film, I got after all that hype, I thought it was only so-so. It brings together a group of short stories to show how our lives are so easily affected by the choices we make. So sometimes good choices, sometimes bad choices. I mean, it's a curious film that holds your attention, but I was left a little empty at the end. I was hoping all these interlocking tales and characters would add up to something much deeper. So maybe I need to stew on it, but for now I'm giving it a B. So that's really it, day 2 at TIFF. It's now 1:30 a.m. in the morning. Finished room service dinner. That was came in very handy. Pretty much everything else that I wanted was closed. So it's time to get to bed, but tomorrow is D-Day. In terms of the films, we've got The Ides of March, directed by George Clooney, Moneyball, starring Brad Pitt, The Descendants, starring George Clooney, Alexander Payne, one of my favourite directors, Sideways and Election, and then we got to Drive to finish up with Kerry Mulligan and Ryan Gosling, and both of them are going to be there. So look, just wow is all I can say to that. But look, tune in tomorrow. I can tell you all about those films, yeah, that's the end of day 2 at TIFF.